She dropped to the floor. The seer stepped forward, arms raised, chanting louder. She screamed. Windows shattered. Then silence. The seer fell. His eyes were blurred. His mouth was torn. This story never made it to the news. No police reports, no headlines. Just an entire family vanished. What was left behind was a house, still standing, still watching, and no one's rented it since. In the fall of 2019, the Graham family moved into a rented house about 30 minutes outside the city. Daniel Graham, 42, had just taken a new job in downtown. It paid well, but the city was crowded, expensive, and after the death of his mother, he needed space, quiet, somewhere new to breathe. His wife, Lillian, 38, was more hesitant, but the house they found was large, surrounded by woods, and came cheap, suspiciously cheap. Daniel didn't ask too many questions. Their two kids, Mia, 10, and Alex, 7, were thrilled. New rooms, a big yard, and Daniel's father, Richard, a retired, quiet man in his 70s, agreed to live with them. He liked gardening, feeding birds, and being far away from people. This place seemed perfect, but nothing perfect comes without a price. It started with shadows. Richard noticed it first. While sitting in the sunroom on the second morning, sipping his tea, he saw something move past the window. It was tall, too tall. It didn't walk, it glided. But when he rushed to look, nothing. He said nothing. Didn't want to worry the family. Then came the smells. Lillian was baking. She swore she caught the scent of rotting meat. Strong, metallic, like blood left in the sun. But it was gone in seconds. Later that night, Mia woke up crying. She said there was someone in her closet. Not a monster, not a ghost, a woman, wearing black, with no face. Just skin stretched across a hollow skull. Daniel brushed it off. Nightmares, new environment. But Richard, he didn't sleep that night. He just sat outside Mia's door watching the hallway. And around 3:14 a.m., he saw her, tall, still, watching. She was already inside. The next morning, Richard was gone. His gardening tools lay scattered near the shed. His cup of tea was still warm on the porch. But Richard Graham was never found again. Daniel searched the woods, filed a report, called neighbors, police, rangers. Nothing, not even a shoe. Lillian was devastated. Mia stopped speaking. Alex asked why Grandpa left without saying goodbye. Daniel thought of moving out. He should have. But 3 days later, Mia was gone too. It was a school day. Lillian walked her to the bus stop, watched her get on, but Mia never reached school. The driver said she wasn't on the bus that morning. No one remembered seeing her, and something even worse happened that night. When Lillian opened Mia's closet to put away some clothes, she found a tiny handprint inside. It was still wet with blood. Lillian broke down. Her daughter, gone. Father-in-law, missing. She stopped eating. She started whispering to the corners of the room. Sometimes she would lock herself in Mia's room and cry for hours. Daniel tried to stay strong. He went to work, called the police daily. But something in the house felt wrong. Walls creaked like they were breathing. Lights flickered only when he mentioned leaving. And Alex, poor Alex. He started sleeping under the bed. He said the woman without eyes comes at night and crawls across the ceiling. One night, Daniel came home late. He found the house dark, silent. He called out, no answer. And then he found Lillian in the bathtub, eyes wide open, water red, wrists gone. A message was written on the fog mirror. It said only one thing: you should have left when she asked you to. Daniel pulled Alex out of the house. He drove into town, stayed at a cheap hotel. He was done. Done with the job, the house, the nightmares. The next morning, he packed everything. He returned to the house only to gather essentials, planning to leave that cursed place forever. But when he walked in, Alex wasn't behind him. Daniel searched every room, every closet, the backyard, the attic, nothing. All he found was a small piece of paper in Alex's handwriting. She said, I'll see Mommy and Mia again if I go with her. Daniel was broken, desperate. He didn't go to the police. He went to the old part of town to find a man they called the seer, a spiritual guide, an exorcist, a man who once banished a demon from a temple in the north. The seer was calm, listened to Daniel's story in silence. Then he stood and said, you didn't rent that house. It rented you. Daniel begged him to come. They returned to the house at dusk. The seer stepped inside and immediately stopped. The smell, the air, the weight. He looked at the ceiling and said, she's not from this world. She's from the hunger. Daniel asked what that meant. He replied, some spirits don't haunt houses. They feed on them and everything inside. The seer lit incense, drew circles with chalk, began chanting in a language Daniel couldn't understand. For a moment, Silence. Then a whisper. From every wall, every crack, it spoke in Lillian's voice. Then Mia's. Then Alex's. Each voice begged Daniel to stay. Each voice said they missed him. The seer screamed, "Don't listen!" But Daniel was frozen. The walls started bleeding. The doors slammed shut. The lights burst. And then she appeared, tall, faceless, dressed in black rags. She crawled across the ceiling, upside down, like a spider with broken limbs. She dropped to the floor. The seer stepped forward, arms raised, chanting louder. She screamed. Windows shattered. Then silence. The seer fell. His eyes were gone. His mouth was torn open. Daniel turned to run, but it was too late. The last thing he saw was her hand touching his chest. And then, darkness. That house still stands, unrented, untouched. No one talks about it, not even the real estate agents. The police came once. They found no bodies, just bloodstains, and a tiny note carved into the wood floor of Mia's room. She keeps us where it's always dark. If you ever see a house that's too cheap for its size, don't ask why, just walk away.